Good morning, how are we doing? It's just going to be me this morning. Even had a little bit of a rough night, and so that's tired everybody out a little bit. I was doing some work till quite late, and ended up being up till around about midnight, and then, hey buddy, it's okay. And it's upset because only me here. Ended up being up till about midnight, finishing off DJ mix and video that I've done. Can't really share it yet, but it's only a little short thing. But yeah, quite happy with how it ended up. A couple of little edits in terms of camera angles and stuff like that. Putting the sound on. Yeah, enjoy all that sort of stuff. So that was cool. But as I say, yeah, Anna was up in the night with Eden, so she's tired out. And it's a working day. So, you know, these things happen, and they happen to us, don't they? And I don't know about you, sometimes I can keep going for a while on whatever kind of energy I've got, and then it starts to run out fairly quickly. Actual real drop, and it's not being kind of good. Morning, Julie. Being on a Tuesday and thinking, actually, where we're going to get the energy from for today, and there's 2-3 more to go in that sense. So what do you kind of do about that? And for a lot of us, reality is stuff's still going to happen. The kids still need to be looked after. They still need to be supported with the schoolwork. They still need to be encouraged to clean the teeth, wash, go in the shower, all those things. Stuff doesn't switch off. And I think I said yesterday, or I've said it other times, that being an adult, you don't realise the responsibility you're going to get. And I think sometimes that's kind of overlooked when we're a bit younger, and we're thinking, oh, I can't wait until I can drive a car, for instance. That was a big one for me. Can't wait till I can drive. Then you've got to find the insurance money and the petrol money and maintaining the car, MOT, all that sort of stuff. Okay, so you get into that routine. Okay, I want to go on holiday now. I didn't go on my first holiday on my own until I was like 18, 19. Then you've got to find the money for that. And then the responsibility kind of creeps up. And it's a funny one in that sense. And obviously it's just me talking this morning, so I'll talk for a little bit about myself. I found that I really struggled to take responsibility for life and the things that were in my life until realistically a few years ago, and it's still an ongoing journey. And about a few years ago, I mean, 2018 was kind of a bit of a breakthrough time for me in terms of understanding myself, where I was at, and in a sense what it takes to be an adult. And by that time, I'm 39 years old. So technically, I've been an adult for longer than I've been a teenager. 19, 20, as long. About that time, married 14 years, it'll be this year, 12 years, 2 kids, and you just think, will I ever have it all worked out? And I don't think we will. I was talking last night about mindset in my Facebook group, and it's an ever-changing, ever-moving, fluid thing, and we don't know what's going to come up, and we don't know how we're going to feel about that, we don't know how we're going to deal with that as we go along. We need, realistically, I think, I don't know if I really said this last night, we need that foundation of kind of principles and core values to fall back on to keep us going. And Julie's watching, and I actually copied your quote yesterday. I don't know if I actually put it anywhere, but I definitely highlighted it and copied it when you emailed me yesterday, which was very, very funny, of course, because it was you, Julie. What did you say? And you said, this is actually brilliant. I'm going to read this out first, I hope that's all right. It sent an email out on the email list. Thank you so much for last week's boot camp. I bent, twisted, gyrated, jumped up and down, perspired for half an hour, but by the time I got my shorts on, the week was over. That is utter genius. What I'm getting to is on the bottom of all the emails for in churches, and Hannah used to work for you, and I've worked with you, Julie, as well. Is our purpose gets us up in the morning, and our values help us sleep well at night. And yeah, it was funny, Julie, very funny. But this part, our purpose gets us up in the morning, and our values help us sleep at night, is a bit more of an overarching term and more about what we're doing. But if we've got principles like that in place, then kind of whatever comes and buffets us in life, and those things come along, you know, it might be a little nudging off course, or it might be a big sideways thing you just didn't see coming. Then if we've got some things in place, in time we'll get back on track. You know, that the analogy I've heard before is the autopilot in a plane. It is an amazing quote, Julia. Yeah, certainly it's credit Clive got, you know, great guy. Autopilot on a plane is a big plane, they'll take it up, they set the course. The pilot can override it to, I don't know, go around a big cloud. He doesn't like the look of it. I don't know what a pilot does on a big airliner, really, because it seems like these big planes fly themselves almost. Obviously, taking off and getting down, they do a bit of work there. But if for some reason it went off course, the fact that they've locked in where they're going will bring it back onto course. And yeah, same if we're driving. We know we're going from A to B, and we're driving down the road, and maybe someone steps off the curb, and we have that take that evasive action, but then we're back on to the course again. And that's probably more of a kind of those little things that come up in life analogy. And then getting right off track is probably if a plane has to, you know, go a lot higher or drop down to avoid turbulence, all that sort of thing. That's kind of the bigger stuff. But if we've got this foundation, if we've got a foundation of principles and what I think and what I believe about situations, about other people, about myself, then potentially it's less of a deviation off track to get back on track. And you know, we all struggle with stuff, and you know, we're all going through life experiencing new things a lot of the time, and I don't think that ever stops, because we change, we age, family around us change, relationships change, circumstances change, might change jobs. You know, everyone's in a very different situation now, and we're going into 5 weeks. And you know, I was talking last night on the same thing about the change curve, how like you experience something new, and actually you have a kind of surge in interest and hormones, and how it feels is great, and it goes up and up and up, and then we hit a peak, and actually things start to drop away again in terms of how we feel and how we're coping, and we have to kind of, then we're working in the change, and that block of time upwards might be 3, 4, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, and then the hard work kind of starts. And I've always found with kind of new jobs and new roles that you have that kind of initial buzz, and then the second kind of 6 weeks or so, that's when the kind of hard work is had to put in. You're learning the job, you get more responsibility in the job, and then things start to come back up again. And I actually, the thought process I had last night that we were sharing was that actually we're kind of hitting the top end of isolation, social distancing, fatigue in a sense, as in we're peaking in how good it is, and now we're starting to get, actually this is affecting me in different ways, and this isn't great, and I'm missing people, and I'm missing family. You know, some people have been in isolation for 6 weeks or more because of medical things, and not being able to see other members of the family because they've got issues. So the novelty is the wrong word, but the kind of that, oh, there's some positive things coming out of this, has peaked, it's wearing off, and this is where we kind of then need to dig into some of those values that we have to just keep going. And you know, this one purpose gets up in the morning, values help us sleep well at night. You know, I know Julie still doing phenomenal work out across Bradford, feeding people through the storehouse, and you know, certain, obviously, the in churches work goes on because you get as one season of the homeless shelter finishes, the next one starts, in the sense of the process of getting everyone lined up to host again and getting people trained, and that'll still all be kind of ongoing. And it might look different, it might be virtual now rather than, you know, people coming to the office and people gathering together for training, but all that carries on. And you know, I know that's what keeps you going. And you know, I've had the honour and privilege to be your friend through that, and work with you as well. You know, a day sorting food and going out into the community and doing fitness sessions alongside Fit and Fed. You know, the feeding programme for disadvantaged children around Bradford, and some fitness sessions and delivered food, and you know, been to places to pick up food that you then redistribute. You know, it's phenomenal, and that's what keeps you going, because you're doing a great thing, and you know, that's not to diminish and devalue anybody else, what everyone else is doing. You know, being a parent and bringing up your kids, you know, that is a great purpose in life, and passing on your kind of experience and understanding of life and the world, you know, that is, in a sense, what being a parent is. So for me, actually, after my role as a husband and trying to do the best I can at that, that's probably my next priority is to leave Iron Eden and how they're developing. And you know, like we were saying right at the start of this, I've not always took that responsibility well. It's not that I've taken it lightly. In a sense, I've probably overemphasised it to the point of expecting too much and not letting them be children, and you know, rather than letting them grow and discover, trying to kind of push them through what I think is the right way to either learn or understand something, or how to get something, or how to implement something in their lives. We're all different. They're different. You know, there's, in both of them, there's lots of similarities to me and lots of similarities to Hannah, but they're still their own little unique person. And it's more about nurturing and guiding that growth than it is about, certainly about anything kind of dictatorial, disciplinarian. And there's elements of that, you know. It's the giving you a hard time because they won't pick up the stuff. That's, you know, there needs to be some sort of intervention. But I think in the past I took that responsibility too hard and in too much of a rush. In a sense of being too busy with other stuff, it was kind of like, bam, 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 we're going to bang this out. And I guess that's another kind of positive of this time, is that there is more time to work out, actually for me, work out how to relate and how to communicate well with them and with Hannah as well. You know, it's been tough in that sense, but also really good. And yeah, you know, out of this, hopefully we end up as a stronger family eventually. Yeah, and that's very true, Julie. In terms of the situation, the challenge is not knowing where the end is. So we need to keep the momentum when we don't know how long the marathon is. Yeah, that's true. That's hard. That is really hard, because you know, we're into week 5, maybe even week 6. You know, kind of lost track a little bit, and you know, people like yourself, other people have just got to keep going. NHS workers just got to keep going. The police just got to keep going. People working in supermarkets. You know, I went to B&M yesterday down at Sainsbury's at Greencase. I went to Sainsbury's first, then I went to B&M, and the guy in there is usually really kind of chirpy and friendly, but absolutely wiped out. He literally worked from opening till closing. Had to do all the closing up. Yeah, I think he's like a supervisor or assistant manager, and yeah, he just was wiped out. He said, "Oh, I've got 2 days off coming up now," and I said, "Actually, what?" You know, it was by this time it was 10 to 8 at night, and shutting at 8. I said, "I just really appreciate you being open." I had to go and buy a padlock to put on my shed, because someone had tried to break into the shed and broken the other one, and I said, "I just really appreciate you just being open." You know, and I've just had to. I didn't say this, but I had to queue for 15 minutes because I had 2 tills open. It was still quite busy. Steady away, people buying lots of stuff, and so the tills there aren't like supermarket tills. It's You know, if they're buying a lot of things, it takes time. And good morning, Chloe. And you know, we've got to appreciate these people as well. It's that, you know, we're in a marathon, but we don't actually know what the distance or the time is and how long we've got to keep going for. And so yeah, hats off to everyone for just keeping going. You know, just keep going. And I say it when I'm doing my workouts, just keep working. And then the next time around I might say, just keep going. And these are my online workouts. And I think that's it. And I think that in a sense that's kind of, maybe that's the thing for this week into next week. Just keeping going and just keeping in doing the best, and whatever that best looks like, you know, that's good enough. And if you feel like it's not quite good enough, don't give yourself a hard time, but just think about how it can be better, and start to do some things and get some help, reach out for some help and support if you need that to make a change. You know, I've done it during this time, and yeah, if things aren't going well for whatever reason, being isolated on your own, different stresses because of working in conditions and environment, because of this, you know, tough time with the kids, homeschool, all that sort of thing. I'm here, we're here, Hannah's here as well, but there's other people in your world, and maybe not in your world, but will be able to help. You know, for the homeschooling side of it, the teachers are still teaching. My sister's a teacher as well. I used to be a teacher. My sister's a primary school teacher. You know, she's on her email every day for her parents and students. Hers are a bit younger. She teaches year 5, but she's making herself available every day. Teachers from my kids' school are doing, they're starting to do kind of one online chat or lesson a week at least to go through the work. So you know, they want to help, and that's just an example. And yeah, there's people out there who can help, want to help, and yeah, I think it's just a case sometimes of we need to get over ourselves a little bit and ask as well. Certainly that's something I've had to learn over the years. So that being said, this is about saying how can we help you today, and if there's anything I can support with, is anything I can kind of point in the right direction to get support with something else, because you know, I'm not professional in a lot of areas, but I know people that are. Please just ask. All right, so although it's a bit of a grey day on this Tuesday, coming up to the end of April, let's have a good one, and yeah, let's just keep going. Have a good one, guys. Thank you.